Hey, what up, YouTube fam? No to Fake Jace here today. Wanted to give you my continuing series of shoe of the week, and today I have before you my collection of Jordan 11s, which I believe would be considered my shoe of the week. My first series was the Jordan 4s, just because that was my first pair of Jordans when I got when I was a little kid. But today I want to continue the series and showing you my collection for Jordan 11s. Um, I will. These are all basically my collection of my 11s. And I will show. I have something very special to show you at the end of this video, which it might not be a big deal to you guys, but for me it was quite a big deal. But anyways, I wanted to kind of show you, and these are all placed in chronological order, so don't kill me if these are not correct dates. But to the best of my knowledge, these were, according to the date that they were produced and the date that they were released, and so forth. All right, so I will start with the Jordan women's Jordan 11 lows, and this pair was a size 10.5 in women, but then it would be size 9 for men. I bought these shoes back then when it was released, and I believe I got it off eBay as well. And I bought them just because I wanted to wear them as casual wear, but eventually they became my exercising shoes, my walking, running, and you can tell they're very beat. I tried to um, restore them to the best of my abilities, but I figured out what the heck, these are beat, so there's really no point. So I tried to clean them up as much as I could, and I mean, you can still technically wear them, but as you can tell, the patent leather is just basically all scraped off. Okay, and pardon me my voice, I'm actually a little under the weather today, so pardon me that I sound a little muffled. But I wanted to kind of talk about the Jordan 11s as a general whole, as a shoe, and I think Jordan Brand did a very bold move of creating these shoes, and I think these initially a lot of people did not like the shoes just because of how flashy it may have looked. It just looked very unique in itself, like the fashion statement wasn't there just yet, and I think Michael had mentioned to Tinker Hatfield that he envisioned these shoes will be eventually be worn not just on the court but also outside of the court. So that means with dress shirts or even suits and tuxedos, in which Boyz II Men wore it when it came out. I believe was the music awards or whatever, that they wore the Concords 11s as a fashion statement, and I think that just kind of took off. But it's interesting that Jordan Brand made such a bold move of creating these shoes, and now that Jordan 11 is basically the flagship for the brand, and every year they save a Jordan 11 release for the end of the year for Christmas release. And as you can tell, from Space Jams to the Cool Grays to the Concords and so forth, and even to the Gamma 11s. Those are all, sort of quote unquote special release at the end of the year. And I know that this coming year, last year, was a 7210 release, which resembled quite a bit like the Space Jams, and that's why I didn't really bother to purchase a pair, which I thought was kind of nice, but I didn't really pursue that. And I heard rumors that the this year's Christmas release, end of the year release, is going to be another Space Jam. So there's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors going around, but but you can see that Jordan Brand is taking Jordan 11s as a flagship to their brand, and and saving that as the end of the year release. So it was a good move by Jordan Brand, and for me, I just feel like this is deserving as my second favorite shoe, just because I don't think it has anything to do with of what they were saying about you can wear those tuxedo or suits. I don't wear my Jordans with tuxedos and suits. I typically wear dress shoes, but I think it's just the idea that these shoes are you know, they are very fashionable in terms of you can wear these as dress shoes, as you know, as very formal shoes, and not very like much like the other Jordan sneakers where they're viewed as, you know, sports tennis shoes, if you will. But anyways, I wanted to kind of review these each of the shoes that I got, and I wanted to kind of give you my backstory or the inside story of what I experienced purchasing them. So I'm not gonna really do any comparison videos. But if you would like for me to do comparison videos, for example, you know, like the 2000 Space Jam versus the 2009 Space Jams, you know, Concord 2000 Concords versus the 2011 Concords, you know, write me up on the comments and let me know if you would like to for me to do a comparison video, and I'll do that. But the point of this video is to kind of show you my personal take on the shoe, my personal experience in purchasing the shoe, and why I would consider this as a why I consider this as my shoe of the week series part two. Moving on the second shoe is the bread or the black red 11s, and you know the breads, the and the Space Jams. These were all purchased from Eastbay, and you know, I think Eastbay was new at the time, so I remember calling them up and seeing the pictures of the shoes online, and I called her up, and then the lady did basically just you know, took my order. I asked them, you know, if it had size 9, and she said that was the last pair, and so I purchased it, and I got it, and I still have the receipt inside the box, but yeah, it was actually a very easy, you know, way to purchase Jordans at the time. Same thing with the Space Jams. I remember when it was released, I saw it on Eastbay website, and it had the number 45 on the back. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but on the Eastbay website, they showed a picture. I guess it must be a sample shoe that they had shown, that had 45 in the back. So I called right away the website, and then I think it was the same lady that actually picked up the phone, and I asked her, you know, I would like to purchase, you know, the black blue Jordans. You know, I think these were $125. And then and I asked her, I said, you know, on the picture you're showing that there's number 45 on the back. Is that the shoe I'm gonna get? And I believe she actually wasn't sure, but she basically told me that, yeah, that's, you know, whatever you see on the website is what you're going to get. And so initially I was actually quite disappointed because I did not want the 45 in the back. I actually wanted the 23 because that was the number that Michael Jordan wore. But then later I guess found out that, you know, the time that he did wear this against the Orlando Magic, they had 45 on the back. But at the same time, I didn't feel like, you know, 45 was his number. I wanted 23. So, but I went ahead and ordered it anyways, thinking that I might get 45 on the back. So anyways, I ordered it. And then when it arrived, it had 23 on the back. So I was actually kind of happy. But now I'm looking back, if I had gotten the 45, that would have been some, you know, about some trippy shoe that, you know, obviously it would be considered a sample shoe. And that if I had gotten the 45 on the back, you know, obviously this would have been, you know, my sacred shoe of all time. I would probably put them in a vault somewhere and never to be exposed in the light of day ever. But anyways, but yeah, I got the Jordan, the Space Jams from Eastbay, and then I was actually fortunate enough to also order 3 more pair from Nike. The Concord, the 2000 Concord, these shoes were purchased from eBay, and I actually did a meetup with some guy in front of a donut shop. I think I paid $175 for them, and as you can tell, they're kind of starting to yellow on the upper mesh. You can see the difference in the leather right there, the leather where the Jumpman is versus the mesh. It's very, you know, you can see there's a starting to yellow. But anyways, and let me show you the bottom as well. But anyways, the guy met up with him at the front of the donut shop, and I was actually very kind of concerned because I wasn't sure how this was going to go down. But long story short, he was a really cool guy. I showed him. We showed up, and then I asked him for the shoes. I looked at it, make sure it's legit, you know, authentic and legit. And he said, yeah, take your time, look at it as long as you want. So I took it out of the box, looked at it, and it was fine. And I gave him the cash, and then I went my merry way. But this whole time I was actually, looking at my back, making sure that, nobody's following me, thinking that maybe he's going to get his friends to follow me and then jack me in my shoes. But I was just being paranoid. I want to be, super careful at the time. But, for you guys out there who are purchasing shoes for a meetup, be careful, watch your back, because, recently there's a story that some kid had his arm severed by a guy who was driving a car, and I guess they were meeting up, and then he got into his car to complete the transaction, but then he decided to pull a gun on him, and then he ran away from the car. The guy that pulled the gun ran away from him, and then the guy in the car basically chased him down, and I guess somehow severed his arm with his car. So yeah, just be careful out there, guys. When you're doing Craigslist meetups and stuff like that, just watch your back. Excuse me. And then the Jordan Space Jam. This is the 2009 version. I won't say too much about it because I'm sure you guys, are very, very well informed about the shoe. But basically, when these were released, 2009, I really did not have any hope that I was going to get them. And then, I had the time, I had 4 pair of the 2000 version of the Space Jam. So I wasn't really, too concerned or like I had to get the 2009 version. But anyways, I tried on the website, and, as you know, East Bay, Foot Locker, Foot Action, Champs, and these type of websites, they all come from the same inventory warehouse. So if you go to one website and it's sold out, very likely the other websites are going to be sold as well. But lo and behold, on that day of, I went on to Foot Action. I went on to other websites too, and they're already sold out. But for some reason, I went on to Foot Action later, and shortly after, I was able to cart 3 pair in my account, and did the checkout, put in my credit card information. I was not placed in any type of waiting time. Everything went through. I got my shipping confirmation, and boom, it was done. And I ordered 3 pair, and all 3 pairs showed up. And so I got pretty lucky there. I just felt like if I could get them, I would get them. But if not, then whatever. The next one is the 2010 Cool Grays. Now, the story with this is that when these were released, little did I know that NBAstore.com was also selling Jordan shoes. And I went on the website, and I saw that they were selling these, and I think there was only one or just a size 9.5 left. I didn't know how many they had in their inventory, but I think it's just 9.5 showing up left. So, and also as a bonus, if you sign up to be a member, I think you get like 15% off, and you can use that on your next purchase and so forth. So I signed up, and then I purchased the shoes with a 15% discount, and got a size 9.5. And so yeah, I was happy that I was able to get that pair. I also ended up getting a multiple pair from Nike.com as well. Now, the 2011 Concord. Now, this one was a very trippy story. I eventually just decided, you know what, I'm not going to wear my 2000 version of the 11s. I'm going to just keep them dead stock. And these are what I call the trifecta. You have your Breads, you have your Space Jam, and your Concords. Eventually, I might think about selling them as a tri-pack, 3-pack shoe. So I don't know, but I think just being nostalgic of how I got these shoes and just brings back memories. I think I'm going to keep them for some time now. But anyways, the 2011 Concords, I went on Finish Line on the night of release, and I think at the time it was 9:00 our time. And I just kept trying to add in Finish Line. It just kept adding. And then I put in my credit card information, and I tried to do all these other things. And none of them worked. I can see in my credit card transaction that it showed history of all these purchases that I had made. But as you know, most of these stores, they're not going to, actually bill you, take the money out until they ship the shoes. But anyways, the next day, I opened up my email and I saw 5 confirmation emails from Finish Line saying that I ordered these shoes and these are, and that they're in the process of shipping the shoes out, and then I will get a shipping confirmation email soon. I was so shocked. I didn't know what to say, but I had to call. I had to call Finish Line just to confirm that all my payment went through and that there was no any other problems, and that they verified the payment, that I authorized the payments and all that stuff. And yeah, I ended up getting 4 pair of 9.5 and 1 pair of 10.5, which I already sold the 10.5. But anyways, yeah, that was a very trippy time where I really didn't think I was gonna get any. But the next day I opened up and I got 5 shipping or 5 confirmation emails from Finish Line. So I was pretty lucky there. The next one is the Lowe's. I think these are also 2012 release. This is one of the new ones that came out. And I think of all the Lowe's, I'm not really a big fan of the Jordan 11 Lowe's, but other than these, which I actually didn't. That's why I really wore them to the ground, because I didn't want to. I didn't think that they were gonna be that great of a shoe. I preferred the 3/4 tops. But anyways, when these came out, I remember this was when you did the RSVP at Nike, and so they'll send out a tweet saying that reservation RSVP is gonna start, and then you have to send them a tweet, or not tweet, but a DM, a direct message, and then they put in your name, your size, and then they'll let you know whether or not you were chosen to be the one to purchase shoes. So I was actually able to do that. I got a confirmation from Nike, my local Nike store, and then even there, I purchased it. The story behind the Breads 11s. Now this one was the 2013 release, or 2012, 2013 release. Now this was the trippy one as well, where when there's some guy that I read some forum that there was a back door link to Finish Line. I don't know if y'all remember this, but there was a backdoor link to Finish Line where you can purchase a shoe before they're being released on the day. So I saw this link, and then it says that you can go into the website like 30 minutes or an hour before the release, and basically you type in this backdoor link, and it takes you and it's not a finishline.com website, but it's like something some code, and then it has Finish Line in there. But anyways, I figure let's try it, and if it doesn't work. I'm not really hurting for Jordan 11 breads. At the time, I think I already had the countdown packs, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, and I remember waking up that morning. It was like, I think it was 6 o'clock release at the time. Then on the day of Saturday morning, I put in the backdoor link, and it worked. I was able to cop 2 pair, and these were $185, so they were going up in price then. I think the Concords were 175 at the time, and then but then now the Breads came out to be 185. So I was able to cop 2 pair, and then the backdoor link worked. The only thing when I was putting in the information was that it said my payment information and all this confidential information, credit card information, was not in a secure website. So that means that there's a chance that somebody could steal my information, versus if you had put in your information through a legitimate website, like if it just says Finish Line with there's security behind it, and you don't have to be concerned about somebody stealing your information. But that's a risk that I was willing to take, and it worked. And so I've been monitoring my credit card, and nothing has been happening, so it's good. The next one is the Gamma Blue Jordans. I didn't really have a big I'm not a big fan of this color. I think Jordan Brand at the time, they were trying to promote this color, and I know that at the time there were a lot of shoes from Nike that were coming out with this Gamma color, and as you recall, the Gamma 12 came out as well. So I don't know, I think they were trying to maybe promote certain color just to make it more distinguishable. So they came out with the Gamma. It's all black. I'm not it is what it is. I only got 1 pair, and I haven't worn it, and I don't think it's I mean, it looks great, but it's not my taste. I think I think I would like to have some white in it, but not a completely all black shoe. And then the other lows that I'm going to show you are these two, and basically, these were just something that I wanted to purchase in terms of, I can wear these, as my regular walking shoes and whatnot, and so they're they're very fashionable. I think they're great, but I don't think I would wear them for basketball just because of the low cut, shoe, the low cut of the shoe that it may sprain your ankle. But not that the not that the 3/4 quarter or 3/4 tops are going to completely protect your ankle anyways. But there's a more likely chance that you can sprain your ankle. Now the shoe that I wanted to kind of talk about is the countdown packs. Now these are what they call the CDP countdown pack. Excuse me, I think I just burped. Excuse me. Now, I did not like the idea that Gentry was trying to push out in terms of he was promoting that if you don't get the countdown packs are going to be the last time that you're ever going to get the series Jordans, and that they're going to stop making these number Jordans. They're going to focus more on team shoes and et cetera, et cetera. So that was all a lie. I mean, I think I bought that lie and basically try to cop as many countdown packs as I could, and thinking that Jordan Brand is never going to come out with the number series Jordans anymore, and so I got suckered into buying these countdown packs, and even the make of it was just poor quality. I just I was so infuriated the way that they were making these shoes. I normally wear size 9, and I was actually able to buy size 9 the countdown pack, and I thought that my toes were going to be ripped off. It was so tight, it did not fit me well. It felt like a size, maybe a 7.5 or even a size 8. But the length of the sole was okay, but it was just I think it was just the patent leather part of the toe box. It was very curvy, and so it did not give you that extra length that you needed. And so my toes were all kind of like jammed inside, and I couldn't really walk in them. It just that it was very narrow, and it just cutting my toes on the side. And I thought, and I had blisters basically wearing these shoes, so I had to end up try to get a size 9.5, which fit me much better, but still it was very stiff. It just did not form your feet well. Even though I've worn these countdown packs so many times, it is still very stiff. Like I feel like whenever I'm walking, like my back ankle just feels like it's still gonna be rubbing and cutting, and it's just not very, does not form to your foot very well. Anyways, so that's why I call these the crap, dump poop, Jordans, the countdown, the CDP. Yeah, I just did not like them at all. But these are I would not even wear these for basketball. That's how bad they were. I mean, I would just wear them for casual walking. Not that I got a half size bigger, then I'm actually able to walk in them. But to be honest with you, I would not even wear these for basketball because I know they're just gonna ruin my feet, and it's just not worth it. So that's my take on the countdown packs. I have a very special shoe that I want to show you, and as you can tell that probably by just looking at, let me show you. And you can probably tell by this gold box what I'm talking about. I do not need to tell you guys what these are. I'm sure you guys know about it already, but yeah, these are the Concords 11s. Which these are actually I think at the time when they were released, I think they were $300, and I think this was the first 2-pack shoe, and then this is the other shoe right there, and then there's the box, and then the material on that is actually very close to the original, where it's nubuck or Duerbuck, It's not the suede material. It's always much better. And then the make of this shoe is very much similar to the 2000 version of it. And so let me just kind of take a look to see when these were actually made. Oh, these are 2005. So they were made in 2005. So 4 or 5 years after the first retro of those shoes, these came out. And obviously the quality of these shoes are very nice. And look at the bottom. I mean, seriously, this is still doesn't even look like it's aged, which I'm actually surprised. So, this has been, what, 11 years now? And look at the bottom of the shoe. It's like, I was actually very amazed. So, you get this good quality shoe, but then, now with the Concords and all that stuff, you see this hideous yellow glue stain. Orange, it becomes orange. But anyways, these are one of my high priced shoes, and I actually bought them off of eBay as a birthday gift from my girlfriend at the time. And so she must have loved me so much to she basically paid double of what the retail price was. And I was actually very shocked that she was actually, because I think there were a lot of fakes out there at the time as well. But she was able to cop me this pack, and then so now she's my wife. So. So if you guys have any girlfriends out there that are buying you shoes, keep them close, because they're keepers. So, but anyways, this is all the Jordan 11s I wanted to show you. These are my collection of the Jordan 11s. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want me to do any comparison videos and whatnot, I'll be happy to do that. Until then, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the 11s. Let me know some of your backstories or your stories about purchasing these shoes, as I have shared with you on my story. So looking forward to those. You guys take it easy out there. Peace.